flag number 18, Courtney Frazier. Now at number 7, Bradley Brewer. Leading off for the Bulldogs for 16, Trinity J. Now batting number 8, Allie B. Now batting number 42, Maggie H. Now batting for the Lady Bulldogs, number 10, Kaylee S. Now batting number 19, Sadie T. J. Now leading off for your lady cards, number 17, Paige D. Grace. Now batting number 4, Hannah Sales. Now batting number 21, Heather Bowen. Now batting number 15, AJ Dodd. Leading off for the Lady Bulldogs, number 15, Cheyenne J. Now at number 11, Haley P. Now batting number 22, Michaela H.
Let's go, Dad!
Now batting number 24, Alyssa M. Now up to bat, number 16, Trinity J. Leading off for your Lady Cats, number 1, Briasia Avery. Now batting number 2, Addison Smith. Leading off the Lady Bulldogs, number 8, Allie B. Now batting number 42, Maggie H. Now batting number 10, Kaylee S. Now batting number 19, Sadie J. Leading off your right counts is number 11, KSST. Up to bat is number 18, Courtney Frazier. Up to bat is number 7, Braylee Brewer. Now up to bat is number 17, Paige Seagraves. Now to bat number 15, Cheyenne J. Now to bat number 11, Haley A. Michaela H. Now leading off the Lady Cats, number 21, Heather Bowen. Now batting number 25, Aaliyah Harrison. Now pinch running in number 15, AJ Dodd. Now batting number 1, Breasia Aubrey. Now batting number 2, Addison Despet.
Come on, girl, let's go. Yeah.
64, Grace Magnuson.
She was saving me.
Ball
Lady Cat softball. Let's go to Lady Cat Park, where the game will be called by KSST Sports Director Don Julian. Don?
James, Terry, thank you very much, and welcome everyone into Lady Cat Park. It is a gorgeous evening for softball or anything else you'd like to do. 76 degrees here in the ballpark with a feels-like temperature of 78, 52% humidity, east 7 miles per hour, and looks like it's kind of blowing perhaps from right field across to left field. So balls to left field might get a little bit of boost, unless, of course, it's not unusual for that wind to change. Let's check in now with Abby Beggs for introductions.
In your Sulphur Springs Lady Cats. Starting off with the Royce City Bulldogs. Number 11, hit a loss. Number 13, Janae Williams. Number 15, Cheyenne Jones. And number 18, Julia McKinney. Leading off for the Bulldogs is the designated player, number 20, Lauren Skinner. Playing center field is number 7, Haley Butler. Batting third and playing left field is Cassidy Mullen. Batting ninth and playing first base is Brooke Johnson. Batting fifth, number 3, Madison Daubry, playing third base. Batting sixth, number 17, Hadley Patrick, playing shortstop. Batting seventh, number 12, Aspen Holm, catching. Batting eighth, number 5, Carly Weatherford, playing right field. Batting ninth, playing second base is Cassidy Kirkendall. And on the mound tonight is number 1, Abby Thomas. And now the lineup for your Sulphur Springs Lady Cats. Number 5, Cabria Harrison. Number 13, Tessa Holt. Number 14, Abby Bear. And number 16, Darby Williams. Leading off tonight is number 7, Kelsey Wallace, is playing shortstop. Batting second, 17, Sierra Smith, playing second base. Batting third is number 22, Brinkley Jobber, playing catcher. Batting fourth is number 3, Kate Womack at third base. Batting fifth is number 18, Sadie Stroud, in center field. Batting sixth is number 10, Addison Cadell, designated player. Batting seventh, number 8, Landry Bell, in right field. Batting eighth, number 12, Maddie Millsaps, is at first base. Batting ninth, number 6, Nala Woodley, in left field. And on the mound tonight, batting 10th is number 1, Bailey Haggerty. Let everyone rise. Gentlemen, move your caps for the playing of our national anthem.
And our introduction to the players and the national anthem, that was done by Abby Beggs. She's a student here at Sulphur Springs High School and member of the track team. She'll be part of the contingency, or the contingent, I guess, heading over to the area track meet. Abby is a discus thrower, also the shot put, but she'll be heading over there to our discus, where the Lady Cats finished 1, 2, 3 in the discus. Good track reports. My goodness, they just had really, really nice tournaments, or meets, I should say, meet in track. Bailey Haggerty pitching for the Lady Cats tonight against Royce City, and she's throwing warm-up pitches into Brinkley Driver behind home plate. Maddie Millsaps down at first, Sierra Smith at second, Kate Womack at third, Kelsey Wallace at shortstop, Nyla Lindley in left, Sadie Stroud in center field, and Landry Bell out in right tonight, filling in for Abby Fight, who we understand is under the weather, and we hate to hear that and hope that Abby recovers quickly. There's been quite a bit of illness. We did a golf story earlier this week from the district golf tournament, and 2 of the Wildcats players missed the first day of the tournament because they had the flu bug. So that's sickness going around.
Number 20, Lauren Skinner.
And scheduled to hit for Royce City, scheduled hitters here in the top of the first inning. The designated player, Lauren Skinner, and then Haley Butler and Cassidy Mullen, 1, 2, and 3 in the Royce City batting order. And we appreciate Coach Lee Kirkendall and all the folks over at Royce City for allowing our live streaming of this ball game tonight. And it'll also be available on YouTube, as well as right here on the radio and tape delayed on Channel 18 on our cable access channel. And here's the first pitch of the ball game, up too high to Skinner, a slap hitter for ball 1 from Bailey Haggerty. First pitch, by the way, tonight at 6:36. A little bit tardy tonight. And Bailey Haggerty ready to work with the 1-0 pitch. And here it comes. Oh, a hot shot off the glove of Kate Womack. Not only was that hit hard, but also took a big, huge waist-high hop. So very obviously a base hit there, no question about that.
Now batting number 7, Haley Butler.
Nobody outside of Adrian Beltray perhaps could have made that play, and he retired. So Skinner on at first running, and here's Haley Butler, the center fielder for the Bulldogs. And the pitch on the way bunted down to Womack at third. She grabs it and had no throw. And so she just, I guess, just thought she could not make that throw in time. So a bunt single. And the first 2 Lady Bulldogs are on with base hits. Kind of familiar to the JV game where they scored 4 runs in the very first inning and ended up winning that game 5-1 against the Lady Cats JV. Here's Cassidy Mullen, left-handed hitter. And Haggerty's pitch on the way. She let that one go in there for a call strike. So Royce City playing small ball here. Actually, that first one wasn't. That was a very, very well hit hard ball down to third base on one giant hop. And again, that third baseman to a leadoff hitter is in close. 0-1 pitch up too high, 1 ball and 1 strike to Cassidy Mullen. Boy, a lot of noise around the ballpark tonight. I'm hearing it all in my ears, but just an occupational hazard, I guess. And the 1-1 pitch on the way, bunted on, hit foul down the third base line. 1 ball and 2 strikes to Cassidy Mullen, the number 3 hitter for the Lady Bulldogs of Royce City. I noticed on their lineup card, and it could be they just bought them in bulk, but they just say Royce City Bulldogs. No, Denison was like that. I asked them one time, are you Lady Yellow Jackets? They said, no, we're Yellow Jackets, just like the guys' team. Here's Bailey Haggerty now. 1-2 pitch on the way and just nicked foul back to the screen. Just getting a piece of that and staying alive is Cassidy Mullen. Again, Lauren Skinner at second and Haley Butler at first for Royce City as they've opened the ball game with a pair of singles. Bailey Haggerty with a 1-2 count now on Mullen, the third hitter. 1-2 pitch is swung on, hit foul down the left field side. Nyla Lindley was racing after that ball, but she could not get to it. It stayed in the ballpark here, but hit just inside that foul fence. That goes parallel to the third baseline and on out to the left field line. Nyla was giving it a good chase, but could not get there. 1-2, the count remains. Mullen steps back in. And Haggerty with a 1-2 pitch swung on and hit foul down the third base way. Kate Womack fielded that one and actually won the race to the bag, but it was moot point since it was a foul ball. So Cassidy Mullen hitting several fouls now. Reminds me of our kickball days and Little League baseball days. Remember when people used to say 99 fouls and you're out? I guess that was a rule somebody just made up. Here's a 1-2 pitch, swung on and hit to Womack at third, steps on the bag, throws across, not in time at first, gets the lead runner. So Mullen is on a fielder's choice.
Now batting number 9,
But Kate Womack
Brooke Johnson.
gets the lead runner unassisted, fielded that ball and tagged the third base bag and tried to get the double play, but not in time. So Lady Bulldogs at second and first, one out, and here's Brooke Johnson. Big power hitter for Royce City in that 4 spot. And Haggerty's pitch on the way, just off the plate for ball 1 to Brooke Johnson. Right-handed hitter, and she definitely does not look like she's up there to bunt. But she might. Here's a 1-0 pitch, and that is a call strike on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike to Johnson. 4-hole hitter for the Lady Bulldogs. And runners at second and first, 1 out. And again, that wind really blowing out to left field tonight. It'll give shots out there a boost. 1-1 pitch. Maybe why Haggerty is keeping that ball outside. That was too far outside, and the count goes 2-1 now to Brooke Johnson. Hitting here in the top of the first inning from Lady Cat Park. And 2-1 pitch. That's off the plate, 3-1 the count. Wildcats of Sulphur Springs tonight. The baseball team is in Lindale, completing that 3-game district series. They played a round robin and have 1 game against every team and then 2 a week against teams. 3-1 pitch in there for a call strike, and the count goes full now to Johnson. Runners at second and first with 1 out here in the top of the first inning. Umpire showing us it's 3 balls and 2 strike count. And Bailey Haggerty, 3-2 pitch, swung on, grounded to second base, fielded by Smith, throw to second. Oh, a wild throw to first by the shortstop, and a run will come in to score for Royce City. Oh, my. As Kelsey Wallace really was trying to throw that ball hard to get the double play.
Now batting number 3, Madison Goffrey.
So they got the runner at second base from Sierra Smith over to Wallace. And then Butler came in to score on that wild throw. And so Johnson is on a fielder's choice. First pitch now to Madison Doherty is in there for a call strike. Haggerty's 0-1 pitch off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. So a run in for the Royce City Lady Bulldogs here in the top of the first inning on 2 singles and 2 fielder's choices. And mix in an error. I know Kelsey was just really trying to unload a hard throw to get that double play. Here's a 1-1 pitch, swung on and nubbed out toward the shortstop. Wallace has it. A perfect strike to first on this one. And that's going to do it for Royce City. So they do come up with 1 run. They had 2 hits in the inning. There was 1 Lady Cat error. and one Royce City Lady Bulldog left on base. And we played half an inning here from Lady Cat Park. Royce City won, and the Lady Cats coming to bat. Bottom of the first, we'll have Kelsey Wallace, Sierra Smith, and Brinkley Driver scheduled to hit here in the bottom of the first. And my goodness, what a great game that Sierra Smith had on Tuesday night that we did. 6 RBIs in that ball game and a grand slam home run, and 2 or 3 circus catches. Enough for me to call for the lion tamers and the elephants and all those circus animals. And of course, David Carrillo added his touch by calling them ESPN kind of plays. They were nice to look at, going back on balls and just reaching up and stabbing them, and just really a great night for Sierra Smith. That'll be hard to top, but certainly capable of it. And Kelsey Wallace will lead off for the Lady Cats. Kelsey tough in that leadoff spot. May well lead the team in home runs this year. Don Wallace was talking about her having 9 dingers this year. An announcer used to be with the Rangers called those big flies, and they leave the yard. Pitcher for Royce City is Abby Thomas. Catcher's Aspen Holm. And here's the first pitch from Thomas. It's in there for a call strike to Kelsey Wallace. They've got Brooke Johnson at first, Casey Kirkendall at second, Madison Doherty at third, and Hadley Patrick at shortstop. Abby Thomas ready to work, and the 0-1 pitch is swung on and belted to left center field. They're back, and it's caught right on the what would be a warning track of a major league park. Boy, that was way back, right up against the fence. And the left fielder went over and made the catch, route number 1. The way that wind was carrying on Tuesday night, that would have probably been a home run. And now here's Sierra Smith. 1 out, nobody on for the Lady Cats. After a long, long fly to left center field, right back there up against the fence. Good catch by Royce City. Thomas a pitch, and that's high and outside for ball 1. Brinkley Driver in the on-deck area for the Lady Cats. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Royce City scored a run in their part of the inning here in the first. 1-0 pitch, swung on by Sierra Smith, blooped out toward right field. Right fielder coming in, and oh, she did not hold the ball. She had it for just a second, and then it came out of the glove. And that's another one of those testers. E9, I guess she got the glove on it. So runner at first with 1 out, and here's Brinkley Driver. They're playing Brinkley straight away in the outfield. And Thomas pitch on the way, high and outside. You want to pitch that ball away from Brinkley. They usually do. Very seldom see anybody try to come inside on her. Or even you sure don't want to get it out and over the plate. Extend those arms. 1-0 pitch, high and outside, 2-0 to Brinkley Driver. Almost like she's pitching around her a little bit. Abby Thomas, I didn't do the outfield. Cassidy Mullen in left, Haley Butler in center, and Carly Weatherford in right field. Royce City defensively. Here's a 2-0 pitch. called strike on the outside part of the plate. 2-1 the count to Brinkley Driver. Pretty good crowd making its way in, and more fans all the time joining us. Here's the 2-1 pitch. That's high and outside. 3-1 the count to Brinkley Driver. Just saw a member of the women's basketball team, Terrella Kelly, who's also a member of the track team as well. He's one of the shot putters. Here's Abby Thomas, 3-1 pitch, swung on and belted to left field, and that one's over the wall. A home run, a 2-run shot for Brinkley Driver. And the Lady Cats take a 2-1 lead. Nice shot by Brinkley Driver, giving the Lady Cats a 2-1 lead. And that'll bring up Kate Womack. Kate hitting in the 4th spot. She's been a good hitter all year long. Just, I mean, from the moment that she got off the basketball court this year and got to softball a little bit late. Team had been together for some time before basketball concluded their season. And she just started hitting from the get-go. So I can see why Coach Carrillo likes her in this number 4 spot, and she's got a good pop in her bat too. Abby Thomas ready to work, and the first pitch to Kate Womack is out. It must have been a tad high, perhaps outside. It was a close pitch all the way around. Ball 1 to Kate Womack. And here's Abby Thomas, 1-0 pitch. That one jammed inside, and Womack got it off the fist and just kind of clipped it back into the screen for a foul ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. That time Thomas did go inside on Kate Womack. Probably shocks a batter when that happens. Most pitchers don't come inside. Here's the 1-1 pitch. Misses outside, 2-1 the count. Kate Womack. Sadie Stroud is in the on-deck area for the Lady Cats. Abby Thomas looking into the dugout, perhaps getting a pitch. Now she's ready to go, and the 2-1 pitch. Swing and a miss, and the count evens up at 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kate Womack. Bailey Dorner coaching down at first base for the Lady Cats, and David Carrillo, the legend, down there at third base. Here's a 2-2 pitch. That's high and outside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. David has agreed to be on the Saturday morning coaches show tomorrow morning, and will be joined by Tony Martinez, the Wildcats tennis coach. There's ball 4, Kate Womack. Coach Jared Hammock's got one of those duties that daddies get from time to time. Watch your daughter play sports. And I think his daughter has a volleyball game tomorrow, and he had already committed to that by the time I waited a little late to try to get him on the coaches show. So he probably won't miss another one all for the rest of the season. And now here's Sadie Stroud inside and low for ball 1 after the walk to Kate Womack. 1 out, 2 runs in the inning for the Lady Cats. They lead 2-1. Pitch to Stroud, and that is in there for a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Sadie back in the batter's box. And Abby Thomas with the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, grounded hard to shortstop. There's over to second for 1. The throw to first in time. Royce City turns the double play on a hard hit ball to shortstop. And so that's going to do it here in the first inning, but the Lady Cats get 2 runs. They had 1 hit in the inning. There was 1 Royce City error and 1 runner left on base. So we played 1 complete inning here from Lady Cat Park. Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 2 and Royce City 1. Cat Park. And it'll be hitters 6, 7, and 8 in the Royce City batting order. It'll be Hadley Patrick, Aspen Holm, and Carly Weatherford, scheduled hitters.
Number 17, Hadley Patrick.
Royce City, 1 run, 2 hits. Lady Cats, 2 runs, 1 hit in my book. And here's Patrick. Appears to be a left-handed hitter. He's standing on that side of the batter's box. Outside of it right now, so he could walk across the plate, but looks like a left-handed hitter to start against Bailey Haggerty in her second inning of work here. Lady Cats are 4-1 in district play, and I apologize, but I do not know the Lady Bulldogs district record. According to David Carrillo, fighting for their playoff life, so they're in dire need of a victory here tonight. Here's the pitch of Bailey Haggerty. It's low for ball 1 to Patrick. She is indeed a left-handed hitter. Kate Womack in a little bit, also Maddie Millsaps, first and third. And the 1-0 pitch. Call strike on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Outfield pretty much straight away. Maybe a little bit over towards center field for the right fielder out there, Landry Bell. And the 1-1 pitch. Call strike. Umpire digested that pitch for a while and decided it was over there, over the plate for a call strike. 1-2 the count now to Hadley Patrick. Shortstop for Royce City. Started that double play in the last inning. And a 1-2 pitch on the way. Just outside. That umpire kind of likes it out there, but that was too much out there. And 2 balls and 2 strikes to Patrick, leading off here in the top of the second inning. Lady Cats leading 2-1. And Haggerty with a 2-2 pitch, and that's outside, and the count goes full. Two teams played back in early part of March, and the Lady Cats won in Royce City. Seemed like it was like 11-4 or something, pretty one-sided ball game. 3-2 pitch is swung on, hit foul out of play. So the count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes to Hadley Patrick. Again, the 6-hole hitter for Royce City. And plays that number 6 position in the scorebooks everywhere, shortstop. And the 3-2 pitch swung on and hit down to Maddie Millsaps at first. She gobbles it up, steps on the base for out number 1. So an unassisted out for Millsaps at first.
12, Aspen Holm.
And here's the catcher for the Royce City Lady Bulldogs. This would be Aspen Holm. Her parents would ask her to phone home. Oh boy. I think James Terry, we got to playing around with puns earlier. Doug Haston threatened to walk out of the broadcast booth, so I better lay off that stuff. And here's Holm, the batter. The pitch from Bailey Haggerty is inside for ball 1. Looks like the umpire thought about the right arm and then changed his mind, decided not a strike. 1-0 the count to Holm, H-O-L-M, the catcher. 1-0 pitch. Call strike on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. And Carly Weatherford in the on-deck area for the Royce City Lady Bulldogs. And Bailey now with the 1-1 pitch. It's swung on and hit out to center field. Stroud inner tracks out there. Now comes in 1 step and makes the catch. So 2 up and 2 out, and that'll bring up Carly Weatherford, right fielder.
Carly Weatherford.
And she's a right-handed hitter for the Lady Bulldogs, hitting in the 8-hole. We talked about shortstop being 6. Your pitchers 1, catchers 2, first base 3, second 4, third 5, and shortstop 6. And pitch just missed outside for ball 1. Then your outfield goes 7 in left, 8 in center, and 9 in right field. So that last play, that fly out to center field, was an F8, a fly ball to the center fielder. And that's the kind of shorthand we use on the scorebooks. Here's a 1-0 pitch. And that pitch is in there for a call strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Weatherford. They named a town in Texas after her. Bailey Haggerty back on the pitching rubber in the circle. And the 1-1 pitch is swung on and mashed out to right field. It's in there for a base hit. Landry Bell over to cut it off and fires that ball on 1 hop into second base. But a nice solid single there for Carly Weatherford, hitting the other way for a right-handed hitter to go into right field. So a 2-out single. And here's Casey Kirkendall. I would imagine that would be the coach's daughter. Very nice fella, and I was told he was by Coach David Carrillo. Lee Kirkendall, the head coach. There's a ball grounded down to Wallace at short. She throws to Sierra Smith for the easy out of the short throw to second base, and that's going to do it for Royce City. No runs, 1 hit, no Lady Cat errors, and 1 runner left on base. And we played an inning and a half here from Lady Cat Park. The Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 2 and Royce City. Pitches. In fact, that was the last one, fired to second base there by Aspen Holm. And the Lady Cats will be coming up here in the bottom of the second inning, and they'll have Addison Cadell, Landry Bell, and Maddie Millsaps. Hitters 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Addison, a freshman. She's the designated player for this ball game. Also pitches occasionally. And the most surprising thing to me, I wasn't sure, how really good of a softball player she was. I knew she'd been playing almost her entire life. I think she was out there in diapers originally, but here's the first pitch. Addison Cadell, high and outside for ball 1. What was that? Dick Vitale calls them diaper dandies, about something like that. But I've been amazed by how well she hits the ball. Addison is a very, very good hitter up there. And the 1-0 pitch just missed outside. Umpire pointing out that way to say, yep, out that way, just a little bit too much. So 2-0 the count to Addison Cadell. Here's a 2-0 pitch, swing and a miss. It looked like Thomas took something off that pitch a little bit. Kind of an off-speed pitch, and the count is 2-1. Thomas doing a little housekeeping around that rubber out there. And the 2-1 pitch swung on and hit toward right field, and that's going to be a foul ball off the line by just a few feet, and that'll make the count 2 balls and 2 strikes. I thought that had a chance off the bat, but landed probably 2, 3, 4 feet off the line, something like that, down the right field way. So 2-2 the count to Addison Cadell, leading off the bottom of the second inning. Lady Cats leading Royce City 2-1, and we're in the bottom of the second inning. And Thomas, next pitch, that's outside. The count goes full to Addison Cadell. Addison steps back in now. And Thomas, 3-2 pitch, swung on, base hit up the middle by Addison Cadell. Looked like the center fielder came charging in there like she wanted to throw her out at first base, but Cadell runs better than that. So the second hit of the ball game for the Lady Cats, a solid single back up the middle by Addison Cadell. And here's Landry Bell. Landry was red hot with that bat early in the season. And in there playing right field tonight. Hits with Cadell on at first and nobody out. See if she'll be bunting here. David Carrillo plays small ball. No, she swings away and pops it up to second base, and it's caught out there by Casey Kirkendall. That's out number 1. I'll bring up Maddie Millsaps.
Now it's the bat, number 12, Maddie Millsaps.
Madison, her official name. She'll discover that when the U.S. government gets a hold of her name. Here's a pitch to Maddie Millsap, a bunt, and picked up by Thomas. A low throw to first, goes out into right field. Cadell is going to head to third. The ball was bobbled a little bit by the right fielder. Any chance that she had to try to throw Cadell out at third vanished when she couldn't pick it up cleanly. And so Maddie Millsap, I'd say a bunt single on that. I don't think a good throw even would have had her. And then Thomas threw the ball low, and now Coach Kirkendall comes out and try to settle his team down here. Runners at first and third with 1 out. And Addison Cadell around to third base, and Maddie Millsap at first. So a pair of singles in my book here. Again, that's the kind of play, you know, somebody could say, nah, a good throw would get her. So runners at first and third with 1 out. And the conference still going on right now. Home plate umpire deciding how long is too long for a meeting here, and now he's going to walk out there. He's walking slowly. That's respectful. Very slowly. He's giving them a lot more time. This is as Coach Cipolletta would say, a long timeout. This is a 60-second one instead of that little short thing. Now Coach Kirkendall has had his say, and he's back into the dugout. Lady Cats with runners at first and third with 1 out, and here is Nyla Lindley in the 9 spot. Nyla can put a charge in the ball too. I think she's hit at least a homer or 2 this season. Royce City still back on the infield, and here's the pitch to Nyla Lindley, and that is up too high for ball 1. Nyla is tall, so I wondered if that might catch the strike zone, but that one did not. So 1-0 the count to Nyla Lindley. And Abby Thomas, the next pitch on the way in there for a call strike. That nailed the outside part of the plate. 1-1 the count. Again, Addison Cadell at third and Maddie Millsap at first. 1 out in the inning. And Nyla Lindley the hitter. Here's the 1-1 pitch, and that was off the plate and outside. 2-1 the count. Lady Cats leading 2-1. 2 runs and 3 hits. And now Abby Thomas back on that rubber in the circle. The 2-1 pitch is swung on and hit foul, and it's going to be out of play. Crashes off the roof. That rings the ballpark here, covers the seated area. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes to Nyla Lindley. Again, 1 out, runners at first and third. In the bottom of the second inning, Lady Cats leading 2-1. Abby Thomas, the pitch on the way is swung on and blooped out towards second base. The second baseman Kirkendall makes the catch, and the runners will hold at first and third. That's a couple of pop-ups on the infield in this inning, and that'll bring the top of the order up, and Kelsey Wallace.
Now to bat, number 7, Kelsey Wallace.
Wallace is 0 for 1. She hit the ball deep to left center field. It was caught right up against the fence by Cassidy Mullen by Royce City in the first inning. So she's 0 for 1. Wallace, a very dangerous hitter up in this situation for any team to face. And first pitch high and outside, ball 1. But Sierra Smith's no picnic on deck, as Texas High found out on Tuesday night with a grand slam and 6 RBIs. And the 1-0 pitch, that is right down the middle of Gladys Alexander there, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. Gladys Alexander, the street that comes into the student parking lot, used to run all the way to Main Street, but they did away with that. Here's a ball fouled back out of play, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Yeah, once they built a multi-purpose center, that was the end of where Gladys Alexander went. It just stopped right there at the multi-purpose facility. Abby Thomas 1-2 pitch, well outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Thomas walks back to the back of the circle as gets ready for the next pitch. Now she's got it and ready to go. Here's a 2-2 pitch. Misses outside, the count goes full to Kelsey Wallace. Lady Cats at first and third with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 2nd inning. In this 2-1 ball game, both teams scored their runs in the 1st inning. Or a run in case of Royce City. Here's the 3-2 pitch. That's foul back into the screen by Wallace. It seemed like a little bit cooler here at the ballpark. I hope a blue norther's not headed this direction. We're supposed to have some rain later tonight. James Terry assures me that we will be well out of the park by the time that happens. And Thomas with a 3-2 pitch. That's high and outside, and Kelsey Wallace will walk. Here's the bases loaded for Sierra Smith. 2 in 1 week. Yeah, that's asking a lot. Bases loaded with 2 outs. Sierra hit a fly ball to right field that was dropped out there. It was a tough play for the right fielder coming in. Almost caught the ball. It just fell out as she hit the ground. Swing and a miss. Boy, Sierra took a massive cut there. And she was going for the downs. Strike 1 to Sierra Smith. You look at Sierra and you think, that girl couldn't hit a home run. But I mean to tell you, she generates some power. She hits that ball well. And really give it a charge. Abby Thomas ready to work. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Swung on and blistered out into left center field. And it's going to go all the way to the wall. 2 runs are scoring. A 3rd run is going to be held at 3rd base. They throw back behind Wallace, and she holds up. So a 2 RBI double for Sierra Smith. And on the play, Addison Cadell came in to score. And also Maddie Millsaps. And they held Kelsey Wallace at 3rd base. David Carrillo did. He didn't want to out at home plate. He wanted Brinkley Driver to get a shot here. So runners at 3rd and 2nd, though. Lady Cats now with a 4-1 lead. Brinkley Driver hit a home run her first time up. The wind has died down a little bit. Here's the pitch. That's outside, ball 1. Flag on the pole is just kind of hanging around out there right now. It looked like the breeze has dropped off a little bit. But Brinkley doesn't need much help. She generates a lot of power. Here's a 1-0 pitch. High and outside, 2-0 the count. First base, of course, is open if you wanted to pitch around her and try your luck with Kate Womack. But it's a little too early for that. It's just a 2-0 count. Plenty of time for Thomas to get that count back in her favor. Here's a 2-1 pitch, high and outside. Certainly would appear that she's pitching, if anything, very carefully to Brinkley Driver. Brinkley in her 4th year on the varsity, teams all across East Texas especially know the power of Brinkley Driver. And the 3-0 pitch, and that was right down the middle of Houston Street there. And 3-1 the count. Brinkley back in the batter's box. Abby Thomas rocks and pitches, and the ball hit off the fist and blooped down the left field line, just off the line by a foot. My goodness, that was close. David Carrillo was trying to, you've ever seen somebody, kind of at the bowling alley give that body English tell that ball where to roll. David Carrillo was trying to get that ball to land in fair territory. Landed foul, so the count is full now. 3 balls and 2 strikes to Brinkley Driver. She did not particularly hit that very well. It was right on the fist. Still almost blooped it to left field. Here's a 3-2 pitch. That one was hit foul. Just got a piece of it. Fouled it back into the screen. The count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes. Kelsey Wallace running at third, and Sierra Smith down at second. And Thomas here with a 3-2 pitch. Swung on and hit foul. That time Brinkley stepped, not step over the plate, but she reached over the plate and protected that plate and hit the ball foul into the screen. Make sure that that didn't get that call strike on the outside part of the plate. And she'll look for a fatter pitch now. It's 3-2. And Thomas, the 3-2 pitch, swung on. That was a pretty good pitch to hit. She hit it foul. Somebody told me one time that if that ball, you foul it straight back like that, you're just missing. So you're tuned in pretty well. You just missed it. So I'd say Brinkley doing pretty well here. Here's a 3-2 pitch, and ball 4, a close pitch. Just a little bit too low, and the bases are loaded. The way that umpire pointed to first, I was afraid that was going to be a call strike. Bases loaded once again for the Lady Cats, and here's Kate Womack. She walked back in the first. So Kate, no official at bats. And we do have a pinch runner now, Abby Bayer. Boy, she is going to be doing quite a few events, at least 4, I think, at the area track meet. First pitch inside to Kate Womack for ball 1. Abby is a hurdler, so she'll do both of those events. Long jump, did well in that, and the sprint relay also. 1-2 pitch, misses down low. 2-0 the count. Sounded like she was behind when she took the baton in that sprint relay race, and the Lady Cats ended up winning it as she came home with a big finish. Pitch misses to Womack, and she's ahead in the count, 3-0. So bases loaded, bases full of Lady Cats, 2 outs. And the 3-0 pitch now to Kate Womack. Took something off that and just poured it right down the middle of Highway 19. How about that? 3-1 the count. Playing Kate straight away in the outfield, and the 3-1 pitch, and that is ball 4, and that'll walk in a run. So Kate Womack with a walk and an RBI. As the Lady Cats get a 5th run, they lead 5-1 now, as Kelsey Wallace came in to score.
Number 18, Sadie Stroud.
Here's Sadie Stroud as the Lady Cats have batted around here in the inning, or they will have once Stroud completes her at bat. She grounded into a double play in the first. Hit the ball hard, but right at the shortstop. And Thomas' first pitch is in there for a call strike to Sadie Stroud. Again, you've got Sierra Smith at third. You've got Abby Bayer at second. And Kate Womack at first. Here's the next pitch, swung on and lashed to left field and caught out there. Right at the left fielder, Cassidy Mullen made a good catch out there of a well-hit hard ball there by Sadie Stroud. But that's going to do it for the Lady Cats as they bat all the way around. And they will score 3 runs in the inning. And had 1, 2, 3 hits. And I show no Royce City errors, and the Lady Cats had 3 runners left on base. So we played 2 innings here at Lady Cat Park. The Lady Cats 5 and Royce City 1. It's a top of to get ready to start her third inning of work. Also in the park tonight, just saw him come in. I think he's been around. I have not spied him lately, but Xavier Cork. And he's wearing the largest Dallas Cowboys coat that I have ever seen in my life. But after all, when you're 6'9" or whatever it is that the X-Man is, got to have those clothes that fit. So good to have X in the ballpark. A lot of the basketball players, good sports fans, and they see them everywhere.
Leading off to the Lady Bulldogs is number 20, Lauren Skinner.
Lauren Skinner now will lead off here in the top of the third inning. She singled back in the first. So 1 for 1 in the ballgame. Boy, she hit a blue darter down to third, and it did not deter Kate Womack. She's still in at third base. Bailey Haggerty ready to work here to get the inning underway, and the first pitch on the way, a swing and a miss. That was that slap look. Read some articles about the slap in the Dallas Morning News this week. They were talking about how if you execute it perfectly, you're just almost impossible to throw out at first. Here's the 0-1 pitch, swung on and grounded to the shortstop. Wallace has it, long throw to first, not in time. That's a base hit. Even a good throw. She pulled Millsap off the bag at first. She knew she had to hurry for that slap hitter hitting the ball in the hole. And Skinner, another infield base. Well, not the first one was not an infield base hit. It just about took arm and all from Kate Womack as it was hit so hard down to third base. Here's Haley Butler. She also singled her first time up, but she just put it down on the infield. Swing and a miss, a full swing this time for strike one. Lady Cats are leading 5-1 here. 2 runs in the first, 3 in the second. Yeah, Butler just may have even bunted. My memory's a little faulty on it. But hard to field. Here's the 0-1 pitch, and that just missed outside. 1 ball and 1 strike to Haley Butler. Again from the left side with Skinner running down at first. And the pitch now from Haggerty, that was down too low, and 2-1 the count. To the center fielder for Royce City. And now Butler's back in the batter's box. And Haggerty toes that rubber out there. And the 2-1 pitch. Call strike on the inside part of the plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bailey coming inside to the left-handed slap hitter. And Butler back there in the batter's box. And the 2-2 pitch, that's outside 3-2. Continuing on that story about slappers, there's a rule difference in college and high school. College players cannot leave the batter's box and hit the ball. That's illegal. You can certainly do that in high school, and they do it all the time and makes them harder to throw out. They're halfway to first by the time they touch the ball. Here's the 3-2 pitch, swung on and grounded slowly to Kate Womack. Fields fires to first in time. It took a hard throw to get Butler. Nice play there by Kate Womack. No time to dilly-dally.
Cassidy Mullen.
Lauren Skinner moves down to second base with 1 out. And here's Cassidy Mullen. She was on a fielder's choice. The Lady Cats tried to turn a double play, and they got the first half of it, but a bad throw on the end of it, and that allowed Royce City run to score. Butler came around to score. So Mullen is 0 for 1. Pitch from Bailey Haggerty. She brought that ball back inside again for ball 1. Kelsey Wallace kind of playing in the hole. Expect this hitter to swing late. And the 1-0 pitch, and she did swing late. Hit it right to Wallace. Throw to first in time. Millsap started to throw over to third and put the ball in her pocket. Probably a wise decision. And on the play, Skinner moves down to third.
Number 9, Brooke Johnson.
So Skinner at third, 2 outs, and here's Brooke Johnson. She was on the fielder's choice. Her first at bat. And actually, well, anyway, here she's 0 for 1 on a fielder's choice. First pitch misses outside for 1-0. Count on Brooke Johnson, cleanup hitter for Royce City. She could drag them back into this game quickly with one swing, you would think. And Bailey Haggerty, the 1-0 pitch, called strike on the outside part of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. That was a very nasty pitch and would be hard to hit that one much of anywhere. That was low and outside. Very good pitch there by Bailey Haggerty. And Bailey with a 1-1 pitch. That was just off the plate. She moved it out just a little bit more. And 2-1 the count to Brooke Johnson. She plays first for the Lady Bulldogs. And the 2-1 pitch, that swung on, base hit to center field. The run will come in to score to make it a 5-2 ball game. An RBI single for Brooke Johnson. And Skinner comes in to score. Still 2 outs with a runner at first, and here's Madison Doherty. She grounded short in the first inning. And Bailey Haggerty with a pitch on the play. Down in there, just maybe low. Looked over, but low. 1-0 the count. And Bailey ready to work here. And a 1-0 pitch on the way, and that just missed outside. 2-0 the count. Bailey has missed with a couple of really close pitches there on the first 2. And Johnson running at first. Royce City has scored here in the top of the 3rd, and they trail 5-2. 2-0 pitch, took something off that, came in too high. 3-0 the count. Bailey Haggerty, as we've mentioned before, just almost walks nobody, ever. But right now, 3-0 count. Here's a 3-0 pitch. That one poured in there for a strike. 3-1 the count. Remember getting a box score game changer in one of the Lady Cats games where she had 2 walks. And I went, holy cow. That just really never happens. Here's a 3-1 pitch. Call strike on the inside part of the plate, and Bailey Haggerty's back to a full count now. 3-2 on Madison Doherty. Spells her name like one of the singers for the old Mamas and Papas. 3-2 pitch. That swung on and popped foul. Maddie Millsaps is over and makes the catch, and the Lady Cats keep any further damage from happening with that 3rd out. Royce City got a run in the inning. They had 2 hits with no Lady Cat errors and 1 runner left on base. So we played 2.5 innings here from Lady Cat Park. It's the Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 5 and Royce City 2. Still trying to correct my book here. They have brought in to pitch the first baseman, Brooke Johnson, will come in to pitch. I'm not sure that Thomas is still in the ball game because now down at first base is Janae Williams. So Janae Williams now at first. And Brooke Johnson has moved over to the pitching mound, and I pretty well believe that Abby Thomas is now on the bench. So pitching change for Royce City, as Thomas went 2 innings and allowed 5 runs and 4 hits. And so a pitching change here, as Addison Cadell will be the first one to face Brooke Johnson, who was again playing at first base and came in to pitch. It'll be Addison Cadell, Landry Bell, and Maddie Millsaps, the scheduled hitters for the Lady Cats here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Lady Cats are leading 5-2. As this begins the second half of district play. Lady Cats finished the first half 4-1, only that loss over in Mount Pleasant. And the pitch from Johnson is swung on, hit 1 hop to the second baseman. There's a throw to first in time. It was gobbled up there by Casey Kirkendall. She threw over to Janae Williams. So 1 pitch and 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd. Boy, Johnson has an unusual delivery of that ball. Looks unusual coming out of her hands. Here's Landry Bell. She hit a pop-up on the infield, 0 for 1, popped to second. And the pitch on the way. Boy, she is just almost, that arm just almost twist or something, like you would, you know, throw a curve or something like that. That pitch was, I believe, well, I don't know what happened. There's a ground ball to third base, a high throw to first, but Janae Williams is tall. And so that is 2 quick outs on a couple of grounders to the infield. That'll bring up Maddie Millsaps. Yeah, that first pitch had everybody buffaloed. But anyway, let's move on. Here's Maddie Millsaps now, and there's a strike on the outside part of the plate. 0-1 the count. 2 out, nobody on, and what has been a quick bottom of the 3rd so far. Just a handful of pitches thrown up there by Brooke Johnson. And the 0-1 pitch, and that hit Maddie Millsaps. And a hit batter. That's the first hit batter we've had tonight. And that'll bring up Nyla Lindley. Nyla popped on the infield to the second baseman, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Gets with Maddie Millsaps at first and 2 out. And here's the pitch to Nyla, and that is a outside for ball 1. Well, when the umpire points as outside, it almost looks like a strike call. Any motion by that right arm, confusing for me a little bit. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and fouled right at home plate. Feet of the catcher, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike to Nyla Lindley, hitting in the 9 hole. And Johnson's 1-1 pitch, swung on, grounded, foul down the third base way. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Nyla Lindley. Again, straight away in the outfield. The wind is, the home runs now are going to have to be self-powered just almost 100%. Lost our wind out here. 1 ball and 2 strikes, swung on Tommy Hawk down the left field. As Nyla went up and got a high pitch, and Tommy hawked it down the left field line, but foul. And the count 1-2. 2 outs with a runner at first here in the bottom of the 3rd. Lady Cats leading 5-2. And Johnson's 1-2 pitch is swung on and blooped to the middle of the diamond, and the shortstop is over and makes the catch, and that's going to do it for the Lady Cats in the 3rd inning. A hit batter, but nothing more. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 runner left on base. So now we've played 3 complete innings here at Lady Cat Park. The Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 5 and Royce City 2. The fourth inning. Again, Lady Cats 5 and Royce City 2. As Bailey Haggerty warming up, getting ready to start her fourth inning of work. And for Royce City, they'll have hitters 6, 7, and 8 scheduled to hit here in the top of the fourth inning. Those hitters would be Hadley Patrick, Aspen Holm, and Carly Weatherford. The Lady Bulldogs, 5 hits in the ball game, 2 runs, 5 hits. Lady Cats have had 5 runs and 4 hits. But the left-hander Patrick getting ready to step into the batter's box against Bailey Haggerty. Left-handed hitter in there straight away. First pitch from Bailey is swung on, grounded to Wallace at short, gobbles it up. Good throw to first for out number 1. 1 up, 1 out. And 1 pitch and 1 out. All of a sudden, everybody's late for the dance. They're hitting the first thing they see up there. And here's the catcher now for Royce City. This is Aspen Holm.
Number 12, Aspen Holm.
She had a fly ball to, well hit, but right at Sadie Stroud in center field. She came in 1 step to make the catch. Pitch from Bailey Haggerty in there for a call strike. So Holm 0 for 1 in the ball game. Again, the outfield straight away, fairly deep in left field for Nala Lindley. That pitch just off the plate, 1 ball and 1 strike. Bailey toying with the outside of that plate, and sometimes out there just a little too much for the umpire's taste. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Aspen Holm. And the 1-1 pitch. Tried to check a swing, went too far, strike 2. 1 ball and 2 strikes. See Jake Cadell down below. Addison Cadell's daddy. And ready to work, 1-2 pitch, swung on right back to Bailey Haggerty. She stabs it and throws it to first. A good fielding pitcher can really help your cause, and that taking that 1 hopper there with a nice accurate throw for Bailey Haggerty. 2 up and 2 out, and here's Carly Weatherford. She had a single in the 2nd inning.
Now batting number 5, Carly Weatherford.
So here's Carly. As I recall, she's the one that hit that ball out into right field. And it does look like the right fielder's playing a little bit more toward the line. There's a ball hit to center field. Sadie Stroud again in her tracks in center field. Makes the catch for out number 3. And once again, a quick inning. Not many pitches, no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. We've played 3.5 innings now from Lady Cat Park. The Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 5 and Royce City 2. It's the bottom of the Kelsey Wallace scheduled to hit against this Brooke Johnson, and the unusual deliveries. You almost twist to that hand, almost like you would throw like a. It's almost like it's hard to describe. It'd be easier to just see Doug's video and see what I'm talking about. But she really almost inside outs that ball, and perhaps it does cause some kind of curve on that ball. It's she was certainly hard to hit in that last inning as she went through. She did hit a batter, but the other 3 went down without hitting the ball very well. Had a couple of grounders and a pop-up.
Number 7, Kelsey Wallace. Wallace.
Now Kelsey Wallace, she flied to deep left center field and also walked and scored. So Kelsey is 0 for 1 officially in the ball game. Hits here in the bottom of the fourth. Lady Cats leading 5-2. And Johnson's pitch on the way, and that is in there for a call strike. And that pitch looked like it backed up a little bit. Now it looked like the old screwball, you know, it's breaking in the opposite direction of a curve. And that would, the way her arm moves, that was what you would expect. Here's the 0-1 pitch, foul ball down third base way. And the man with the golden hands in the coaching box down there, David Carrillo. I wonder if he was a ball player at Colleen Ellison High School, where he went. 0-2 the count now to Kelsey Wallace. Here's the 0-2 pitch. That's up too high to Wallace. 1 ball and 2 strikes. And now Johnson is ready to go. Got the pitch, and here's the 1-2 pitch. That's outside. Probably hoping that ball would break a little bit over, but it stayed outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Kelsey Wallace. I imagine as long as Kelsey's played softball, she's seen all kinds of deliveries. And the 2-2 pitch swung on, a one bounce shot to third base. Fielded nicely there by Madison Doherty, and she throws to Janae Williams at first for out number 1. Well struck, but a one hopper right into the third baseman.
Now batting number 17, Sierra Smith.
Now Sierra Smith, she was on an error on a fly ball that was dropped out in right field. Scored, and then had a 2 RBI double in the second. That big hit is a big difference in this ball game. It's a 5-2 game, so you take away that and it'll be a different ball game. Here's Johnson's first pitch to Sierra Smith. It's inside, ball 1. Johnson tough to hit here. She's allowed nothing but a hit batter. She's faced 5 batters. Sierra Smith her 6th. And the 1-0 pitch, and that's high and outside, 2-0 the count. Brinkley driver in the on-deck area for the Lady Cats. And David Carrillo down at third, and Bailey Dorner down at first base. And the 2-0 pitch on the way, swung on and well hit to left field. The left fielder backing up and makes the catch back there. And boy, the wind is not carrying that ball anywhere near like we saw Tuesday night. Sierra, I think, thought she got a lot of that one, but the left fielder just moved back 3 or 4 steps, made the catch. Nice catch out there by Cassidy Mullen. So 2 up and 2 out. Here's Brinkley driver. Hit a home run in the first inning, a 2-run shot, and walked in the second. So she is officially 1 for 1. And Johnson with a pitch, and that misses outside, ball 1. Again, the umpire pointing out that direction. No, out that way. Too much, ball 1. Not the most unusual call that I've ever heard on the field on softball. 1-1 pitch, that misses inside, 2-0 the count. Had one umpire at a kind of a scrimmage game or just kind of a fun game, he would either say strike or you should have. Well, I guess it was ball or you should have. That's what it was. 2-0 count. That is outside, 3-0. And you get 3 you should have, and you could go back to the bench. You were out. 3 you should haves, and you're out. That was a fun game. And a fun umpire, too, by the way. Here's a 3-0 pitch, and that's a call strike on the outside part of the plate to Brinkley driver. Lady Cats have 2 out here in the bottom of the 4th. And nobody on base. Lady Cats leading 5-2 here in the bottom of the 4th inning. And Johnson with a 3-1 pitch, and that was low. And a base on balls. That's the second walk for driver after she hit one out of the park in the first inning. And once again, we'll have Abby Bayer coming in to run.
They're coming in to pitch run with number 14, Abigail Bayer.
Boy, Abby Beggs dropping that Abigail Bear on her. I wonder if it's Abigail Beggs, too. I don't know. They both go by Abby, A-B-B-I. Here's Kate Womack. She's walked twice in the ball game. There's a call strike, first pitch to her. Seems to be getting a little cooler here at the ballpark. I keep saying that, but it feels like the air conditioner got turned on. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Like when I lived in Sacramento and you get over to the Bay Area over there about Vallejo or something, and it was like the air conditioner came on. Boy, they're getting that Atlantic Ocean or Pacific Ocean. There's a base hit by Kate Womack, and Abby Bear will hold at second. So a solid single by Kate Womack. And 2 outs with runner at second and first, and now here's Sadie Stroud. Sadie hit into a double play and hit a well-struck fly to left field that was caught. So she has hit the ball rocket solid both times, and she's 0 for 2. And Johnson works with 2 on and 2 out, and there's a call strike to Sadie Stroud. She's hitting the ball like a former Texas Ranger used to, named Al Oliver. I don't know of any Ranger that ever hit the ball harder than he did. And oftentimes it was an atom ball. Here's the 0-1 pitch. That's outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. He made consistently good contact, and there were so many times he would hit a screaming line drive right at somebody. Here's a 1-1 pitch. Swing and a miss. And Stroud down in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Abby Bear running at second, and Kate Womack on at first. And 1 and 2 on Sadie Stroud. A tough pitcher to hit here, this Johnson. That pitch outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Kate Womack didn't have a problem. She just ripped the ball out into left field. And Johnson ready to work here. And the 2-2 pitch on the way, high and outside, 3 and 2. Abby Bear taking really big leads off the base once the ball is released. Abby is a very dangerous base runner. She can change that game with her speed. Here's a 3-2 pitch, swung on, base hit for Sadie Stroud to center field. Abby Bear heading to the plate. Here's the throw, and she knocked the ball loose. She's safe, and runners move to third and second. They had her out at home plate, and there was a collision, and the ball was jarred loose by Abby Bear to score the run.
Now batting number 10, Addison Cadell.
So Stroud with an RBI single. And Womack around to third, and Abby Bear came around to score. But boy, they had her dead to rights on some good defense. But the catcher could not hold it after the collision at the plate. And there's a ball blooped toward right field. That'll be out of play. Foul by Addison Cadell for strike 1. Addison had a single in the second and grounded to second, her second time up. So she is 1 out of 2 in the ball game. Lady Cats get a 6th run now, and they lead 6-2. Right now they've got 2 in scoring position for a very good hitter here, Addison Cadell. And the 0-1 pitch swung on, foul ball down third base way. And Addison in an 0-2 hole here, as she's hit a foul ball down the right field line and a foul ball down the left field line. So that's a hitter that, you know, how in the world are you going to defense them? They hit the ball all over the park. Straight away, would you believe? Here's the 0-2 pitch, swung on and hit back up the middle. It took a bad hop on the second baseman. The run comes in to score, because that took a real bad hop when it got to the second baseman, Kirkendall there, and it handcuffed her.
Now batting number 8, Landry Bell.
And so a run comes in to score the 7th run for the Lady Cats. Kate Womack came in to score. Sadie Stroud all the way around to third, Cadell at first. 7-2 ball game. And here's Landry Bell. She is 0 for 2, popped to second and grounded to third. And Johnson with a pitch, swung on, grounded to shortstop. Oh, it took a bad hop. Throw to first is close play, safe at first base. Another run comes in to score. Boy, this is a tough infield tonight for Royce City as that ball taking some really bad hops out there.
Now at the bat, number 12, Maddie Millsaps.
And the Lady Cats leading by the score of 8-2. And Coach Kirkendall is back out to gather everyone around to try to figure out what they want to do here. As the Lady Cats have been hard to get out, but they've had some little gremlins on the infield here tonight. In this inning, a ball to second and a ball to short. Once they got to the player, they took a really mean little hop. Like that ball was hit with some spin. Now Coach Kirkendall heading back to the dugout. And they're going to stick with Johnson here. The Lady Cats have put up 3 runs. It's 8-2 as we play here in the bottom of the 4th inning. 4 straight hits, but again, 2 of those bad hop balls on the infield. Maddie Millsaps, she singled and was hit by a pitch, 1 for 1. Johnson's pitch on the way down low and inside, and a very nice stop there by Aspen Holm, the catcher for Royce City. That one looked like it was ticketed to head back to the backstop. Nice stop by the catcher. Here's a 1-0 pitch. Swung on, well hit to left field. That ball is out of here. A 3-run Jimmy Jack by Maddie Millsaps. And the Lady Cats have now put 6 runs on the board, and they lead 11-2. Mark all these RBIs here. A 3-run home run. Wow. Boy, a couple of bad hop plays on the infield and a smash there by Maddie Millsaps. And that'll bring up the 9th hitter in the inning now. Here's Nyla Lindley. And believe it or not, folks, the first 2 batters in this inning went out. 6 straight batters have scored for the Lady Cats. Walk, single, 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 home run. Pitch outside to Lindley. 1-0 the count. Lindley popped to second, popped to short, so she is 0 for 2. And the 1-0 pitch from Johnson swung on, well hit, but that she was out in front of that. Hit it up into the trees, but in well and foul territory. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lady Cats have scored 6. They lead 11-2. Blowing this ball game open here. 1-1 pitch, that's outside. 2-1 the count to Nyla Lindley. Second inning that the Lady Cats have had 9 batters, and this one potential to go further. We'll have to see. Depends on Lindley up here. And the 2-1 pitch, that's outside. 3-1 the count. Boy, an inning that looked like it was going to be routine, 2 up and 2 out, and then the whole base on balls, and then the 5 straight hits. And the 3-1 pitch. There's a base hit by Nyla Lindley. And the hit parade continues for the Lady Cats. And so a chance to hit for the second time in this inning.
Kelsey Wallace.
So Kelsey Wallace will hit for the second time in this inning as she started this thing with a grounder to third base probably 20 minutes ago. Don Wallace told me the Baylor Lady Bears won. Well, I was hoping that they would help me play another game since I was a little bit involved tonight. Could not see that ball game. I was hoping it was the late game tonight, but no such luck. And the pitch now to Wallace, high and outside, ball 1. I'm not sure Wallace is on record as picking the Lady Cats to win it all, but he's told me that. Of course, right now he's denying every word. 1-0 pitch to Wallace, and the ball blooped towards center field. They're trying to surround it out there. The shortstop makes the catch. And that's going to do it for the inning. But a huge inning for the Lady Cats, as the Lady Cats score 6 runs. They had 6 hits. I did not score any of those errors on the Royce City infield on those bad hops. And the Lady Cats had 1 runner left on base. So we played 4 complete innings now, and boy, we have a new ball game. It's the Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 11 and Royce City 2. The 4th inning, we talk about the Lady Bears of Baylor. They won 72-67. They have really not been tested in that NCAA tournament, but my goodness, you get to the Final Four, you better expect to be tested. My brother was commenting on the men's Final Four and about how every game is like a buzzer beater, a 1 or 2 point ball game. Just incredible ball games been going on.
Leading off the Lady Bulldogs is number 14.
Some good round ball here in March. Now turned into April madness, I guess now. For Royce City, Casey Kirkendall will hit, then scheduled to hit the top of the order, Lauren Skinner and also Haley Butler. Casey was on a fielder's choice in the second, 0 for 1 in the ball game. Pitch from Bailey Haggerty, swung on and hit out to right field, and that is a foul ball just off the foul line. The home plate umpire taking a real good look at it, and he shot that arm out there immediately to indicate that was a foul ball. That was very close. Now, again, that couldn't have been just a foot or 2 off that line. I actually, when the ball landed, I thought it was a fair ball, but again, he's right along that line. I'm sitting here in the press box. That pitch misses, 1 ball and 1 strike. Kind of like Bob Euchre up there in the top row screaming he missed the tag. Oh, what a guy, Bob Euchre. He'll tell some of his stories. And the 1-1 pitch on the way, and that misses 2-1. Bob Euchre was the one that they asked him how do you catch a knuckleball, and he said nothing to it. You just wait until it stops rolling and pick it up. And I thought, well, for a catcher, that's just about as good as it gets for trying to catch a stinking knuckleball. 2-1 pitch, that's outside. 3-1 the count now to Casey Kirkendall against Bailey Haggerty as we play here in the top of the 5th inning. The Lady Cats leading 11-2 in this one. A big 6 spot. Big home run by Maddie Millsaps. 3-1 pitch, that's in there. 3-2 the count. And the count goes full to the 9-hole hitter for the Royce City Lady Bulldogs, Casey Kirkendall. And Bailey Haggerty with the 3-2 pitch has hit foul, back out of play. Hear it crash on the roof on its way out. Count remains 3 balls and 2 strikes as we play here in the top of the 5th inning. Again, Wildcat baseball going on tonight. They're in Lindale trying to break a losing string there. They've lost 5 in a row. Here's a 3-2 pitch. It's off of Bailey Haggerty's glove out to Wallace at shortstop. Throw to first, not in time. And that's a base hit off the glove of Haggerty, and then the throw by Wallace, not in time.
Number 20, Lauren Skinner.
That'll bring up Lauren Skinner, and she's got a perfect record tonight. She is 2 at-bats with 2 hits. She hit a rip snorter in that first inning that just about took Kate Womack's glove and off on the way down to left field. Pitch swung on and tapped, foul at home plate for strike one. Also singled and scored in the third. So Skinner, what you would expect out of a leadoff hitter, that slap hitter. And looks like a good one, 2 for 2. She's been able to get on tonight. And back there in the batter's box, wide open stance. They probably close that off as the pitch comes in, kind of straighten it up. That's usually what they do. And the 0-1 pitch, which was a slapper, you never know. 1-1 the count, with Kirkendall running down at first. And the batter, Lauren Skinner, probably just trying to tap that ball and put it on the infield. 1-1 pitch. That was low and inside, 2-1 the count. Lauren Skinner. Forest City trying to get back in this ball game now, down 11-2. Bailey Haggerty's given up a run here and a run there, but been pretty tough tonight. 2-1 pitch. Call, strike, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Bailey 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 hits in the ball game. And the 2 runs. As we play here in the top of the 5th. 2-2 pitch. And a swing and a miss. She may have tapped that ball. I heard what sounded like a foul tip, but it was held by Brinkley Driver, so that'll be a strikeout.
Number 7, Haley Butler.
So that's out number 1, and here's Haley Butler. Singled and scored in the first and grounded to third, 1 out of 2. And the first pitch on the way, inside, going all the way back to the screen, and runner Kirkendall takes off down to second base. Wild pitch. And runner at second now with 1 out. And a 1-0 count now to Haley Butler. And the 1-0 pitch. Call, strike, 1 ball and 1 strike. In the second half of that Final Four doubleheader tonight, Connecticut and Notre Dame, boy, 2 teams that have really been good the last 5-10 years. Pitch misses outside. And 2-1 the count. And Bailey Haggerty looking at that wristband. Ready to work here. And the 2-1 pitch is swung on and blooped down to Kate Womack at third. Makes the catch for out number 2. I thought that might have a chance to bloop over Womack, but it did not. She backed up and made the catch for out number 2. So runner at second with 2 outs, and here's Cassidy Mullen. She was on a fielder's choice and grounded to short. So she is 0 for 2 in the ball game. Haggerty's pitch on the way and call strike on that outside part of the plate. If I was Bailey, I'd just hit that spot 3 times and see what happens. That's a tough pitch to hit. Of course, this hitter would probably slap it toward left field. That was a little bit further outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Probably Bailey hoping that she would chase on that one. That was out there a little bit too far to be tempting. And here comes the 1-1 pitch on the way. Swung on, hit foul out of play. Went over the batting cage, the old original batting cage. They've added a second one now, but that went over the first. 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Mullen. And Bailey Haggerty ready to go here. And the pitch on the way, grounded to short to Wallace. It took a bad hop on her. The same thing that we saw happen to Royce City happened to Wallace there. I'm telling you what, this is a rough infield tonight. So runners at second and first with 2 outs, and here's Brooke Johnson, first baseman slash pitcher tonight. On a fielder's choice and had an RBI single in the third, so she's a dangerous hitter to have up there right now. Pitch from Bailey Haggerty, down 2 low, ball 1. And Bailey getting that pitch there. And ready to work now. The 1-0 pitch, and that's outside. 2-0 the count to Johnson. And Bailey Haggerty slowing down a little bit now with runners at second and first and 2 outs. Trying to make sure she executes these pitches here. To a tough hitter. Here's a 2-0 pitch. And that's outside. 3-0 the count. Again, Bailey checks that wristband after getting the signal from Coach Dorner. Remember, we were talking about what they sit on over there, those buckets. Those are buckets of softballs. I got that straight from Bailey Dorner. There's a ball 4. Boy, that was a close pitch. And the bases are full of Lady Bulldogs. They have Kirkendall at third, Mullen at second, and Johnson at first for Mason Doherty, the third baseman. She grounded to short and popped a foul ball that was caught by Maddie Millsaps. Now hits with the bases loaded, 2 out. This pitch in there for a call strike. So Bailey pounding the strike zone after, an unusual walk. And the 0-1 pitch. And that just off the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Lady Cats leading 11-2. Trying to snuff out this Royce City rally. 1-1 pitch. That's over but low. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bailey really trying to be fine with these pitches and maybe throwing a ball or 2 more than you normally see her throw. But still, she's just had the 1 walk. Then a couple of hits in the inning, including one of those bad hop jobs. And the 2-1 pitch. Call strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, umpire digesting that one for just a second, and then up comes the right arm. 2-2 the count. Bases loaded. And the 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss, and Bailey Haggerty is out of the inning with a huge strikeout. She struck out a couple in the inning. So Royce City had a big threat. They had no runs. They did come up with a couple of hits and also a walk. No Lady Cat errors and 3 runners left on base. We played 4.5 innings here from Lady Cat Park. And the Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 11 and Royce City 2. Here for a while. We understand that maybe the Wildcats baseball team is down to Lindale 4-0. Not sure what inning that is, and really I'm not even sure if that's an accurate score. But so anyway, there you go. But whatever it turns out to be the truth, we will do our best to have that for you.
17, Sierra
You couldn't play it much better than the shortstop did there, Hadley Patrick. But Sierra Smith just a leg hit there. Sierra kind of bent over there at first base. Coach Dorner, I don't know if she's maybe got a cramp or something, but Coach Dorner is talking to her. Now she straightens up, so maybe nothing there, just kind of resting after a hard run to first to beat that one out. So a base hit for Sierra Smith, and that'll bring up Brinkley Driver, who they have pitched very, very carefully to tonight, except for the first time up when she hit a home run over the left field wall. Old phrase I love, that for a power hitter, hit them out of any park in America, including Yellowstone. Or perhaps we should say Jellystone, right? Yogi.
Now batting number 22, Brinkley Driver.
So here's Brinkley Driver now with a runner at first. Sierra Smith running down there. Brinkley a home run in the first and 2 walks. Drove in 2 runs and scored 1. And the pitch is strike on the outside part of the plate. Brinkley Driver. Lady Cats would like to score 1 run and call it a night here. Here's the pitch, and went too far on the swing. 0-2 the count to Brinkley Driver. Brinkley has had some issues with nagging kind of health stuff that probably kept her from being a lot stronger hitter this year. That pitch is outside, 1-2 the count. So she's had to battle through some stuff. Get her nice and healthy for playoffs. Here's a 2-1 pitch, high and outside, 2-2 the count. To get her red hot, and they're still probably talking about some of those home runs that she hit at McKinney North last year in the playoffs. We still think that one might still be rising out there over the scoreboard. Here's a 3-1 pitch, outside, 3-2 the count. And Brinkley back in there. Let's send everybody home happy. Well, not everybody. There's a lot of Royce City fans here tonight. 3-2 pitch, swing and a miss for the strikeout. Throw to first. And Sierra Smith dives back in there. So 1 out with a runner at first, and here's Kate Womack. Kate walked in the first and the second, and then had a single and scored in the 4th in that big 6-run inning. And Johnson's pitch is outside for ball 1. And the 1-0 pitch on the way. That swung on and blooped out to right field way, and that's a foul ball just off the line. Kate Womack just missed that one. We've seen 3 or 4 of them down there kind of blooped it down that way, and all of them have seemed like they've landed in foul territory. Not by much, most of them. Here's a 1-1 pitch. That swung on, foul back out of play by Kate Womack. Again, Kate, volleyball player, then went right into basketball, and then right into softball. 1 ball and 2 strikes, swung on, hit foul back into the screen. And 1-2 the count to Kate Womack. Kind of had her year planned. Well, let's see, we'll start with volleyball, then we'll move right into basketball, and then into softball. And the 1-2 pitch, that's high and outside, 2-2 the count. And now the catcher, Holm, is going to go out and talk to her pitcher, Brooke Johnson. Give the umpire a chance to clean home plate. That looked like if you were going to do a film of a how-to on how to clean home plate, that pretty well did it right there. It's a very nice job. And the 2-2 pitch on the way, high and outside, 3-2 the count. I've seen some of those older umpires that don't like all that bending down with that brush and everything. They'll try to clean it off with their shoes. Just try to kick that dirt off there. Here's a 3-2 pitch, swung on a hard one-hopper to the shortstop. The throw to second, out at second base on a close play. As just in time to get to Sierra Smith at second. Ball was bobbled by the shortstop. But they got the lead runner at second. So 2 outs with runner at first. Womack, who's now was on the fielder's choice. And here's Sadie Stroud. She had a big RBI single last time up. Also hit into a double play, fly to left. So she's 1 out of 3. That pitch misses outside, ball 1. We're in the bottom of the 5th inning. Lady Cats leading 11-2. 2 in the first, 3 in the second, and that big 6 spot in the 4th inning. Really made a relatively tight ball game, just one-sided. There's a call strike, 1 ball and 1 strike to Sadie Stroud. The homecoming queen, by the way. And here's the 1-1 pitch. Swung on, lashed to left field. A hard one-hopper to the left fielder. Throws it back into the infield. And that's 2 hits in the inning. Womack moves to second, Stroud to first. And here's Addison Cadell, and all she's done tonight's 2 out of 3. Singled in the second, scored. Grounded to second, singled in the 4th, and scored. So she's 2 out of 3. I think she might have been the recipient of one of those ground balls that took a bad hop. Hits another one right here. Oh, it took another hop. And she's safe again. And the second baseman, Kirkendall, has just really had a tough time with that ball, taking miserably tough hops out there.
Number 8, Landry Bell.
Bases are loaded now with 2 outs. Here's Landry Bell. She had one of those singles last time. Popped to second, grounded to third, 1 out of 3. Also scored, and after that single, pitch outside, ball 1. Landry Bell back in the batter's box. 1-0 the pitch. Down too low, 2-0. Remember, it had been Little League days. We had a good pitcher named Raymond, and his dad would sit up in the stands with a count like this and say, "Don't help him, Raymond, don't help him." And the 2-0 pitch. Call strike on the outside part of the plate, 2-1 to Landry Bell. A cheerleader also, by the way. Johnson ready to work. And the 2-1 pitch, and that's a call strike on the outside part of the plate, or he might have said check swing that was not checked in time. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And Johnson, 2-2 pitch, and oh, she might have gone too far on the swing. The home plate umpire said a check swing. He made the call on his own, did not ask for help. Of course, his help is out there in left field just about. So the count goes full now to Landry Bell. And here comes the pitch from Johnson, 3-2, high and outside, and that's going to do it. That's the ball game right there, as the Lady Cats score their 12th run on a run that was walked in on a base on balls, and the Lady Cats will win this one by the score of 12-2. And the team's beginning that walk across the field and handshake line after this one, and the Lady Cats 12 and Royce City 2. So the big difference in the ball game, that big 6-run inning in that bottom of the fourth, it made it 5-2, and it went to 11-2. Lady Cats just get it done. They're 5-1 now in district play. And Royce City will have some work to do if they're going to obviously get into the playoff picture. So they'll want to try to pick up some wins in the weeks ahead. Lady Cats next week, they'll be going at Greenville. And then I believe they have Lindale here at home. Pretty sure that is Lady Cats' schedule next week. Yeah, at Greenville on Tuesday night, and then home game against Lindale on Friday. And so Lady Cats win this one again by the score of 12-2. Bailey Haggerty picks up the win. We've seen her sharper, but did a adequate job out there, just allowing the 2 runs, had 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hits. So 2 runs, 7 hits for Bailey Haggerty on the win, and the Lady Cats pounded the ball again. I'm not sure. All those infield jobs might be, they might be scored errors by a score, so we'll have to see how that all turns out. The Lady Cats had 4, looked like they had 10 hits, and they had 6 of them in that 1 6-run inning. So Lady Cats defeat Royce City by the score 12-2. James Terry is running spots back at the station. We appreciate him. Doug Haston shooting video for replay and also set everything up here tonight. They'll be posting a game to YouTube that you can check out at your leisure. And also will be available on replay on for our Channel 18 cable customers that mostly live in Sulphur Springs, some in Como and perhaps some other cities. I'm Don Julian with your play-by-play. Once again, our final score here from Lady Cat Park. The Lady Cats of Sulphur Springs 12 and the Royce City Lady Bulldogs 2. Thank you for joining us this evening, and so long.